I get it, you're scrolling through endless listings, staring at glossy photos of speakers that promise cinematic sound, and you start wondering if any of them will actually fill your living room the way the movies do. Too often the hype fades once you hook them up and the dialogue sounds thin, the surround feels distant, and you're left with a pricey disappointment. That hesitation is why I'm doing this deep dive on the Polk Audio Reserve Series R400 Center and R600 Tower Bundle, so you can sidestep the usual buyer's remorse. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, this isn't a speculative wish list. The bundle has earned a solid 4.5-star rating from 53 verified buyers, which already tells us a lot about its real-world reception. Polk's Reserve line is positioned as a premium step up from their more entry-level models, and the key selling points revolve around a dedicated center channel that handles dialogue and a pair of tower speakers that aim to blanket the room with immersive sound. I spent a good chunk of the past week pulling together a typical mid-size home theater setup, 70-inch TV, a 7.2-channel AV receiver, and a modest 150-square-foot room to see how these speakers actually perform. Let's start with the center channel, the R400. The 1-inch tweeter paired with dual 4-inch woofers is designed to deliver clear, articulate highs while keeping the mids punchy enough for speech. In practice, that translates to dialogue that stays intelligible even during the most bombastic action scenes. I tested it with a mix of dialogue-heavy drama and fast-paced sci-fi, and the words didn't get buried under the music or sound effects. What really stood out was how the R400 handled Dolby Atmos and IMAX-enhanced tracks. The speaker has the capacity to bounce sound off the ceiling and create that overhead effect, but you do need an Atmos-enabled receiver and a proper upward firing or ceiling module to unlock the full experience. Without that, you still get a robust center, just not the full height dimension. Moving to the towers, the R600s bring 1-inch tweeters and dual 6.5-inch woofers into a sleek cabinet that looks at home in a modern living room. The anti-diffraction grille is a subtle but smart touch. It reduces sound scattering from the front baffle, helping the speakers maintain a tighter soundstage even when you're sitting a few feet off the axis. In my listening tests, the left and right towers produced a smooth, cohesive front image that didn't feel shimmery or overly bright. Bass response was respectable for a two-way design. The 6.5-inch drivers gave a warm low end that supported movie explosions and music bass lines without overwhelming the mids. However, if your movie nights usually involve deep rumble action like Transformers, or you're a bass-heavy music fan, you'll notice the low frequencies taper off around 4050 Hz. In that case, adding a dedicated subwoofer would be the logical next step. One thing I appreciated during the setup was the straightforward wiring. Both the R400 and R600 use standard speaker wire terminations, and the polarity markings are clear, so there's no guesswork. I ran them through the receiver's auto-calibration routine, and the system quickly settled on a balanced output. The only caveat is the physical footprint. Each tower stands about 42 inches tall and needs a few inches of breathing room on either side of the TV for optimal imaging. If you're working with a cramped wall or a very narrow seating layout, you might have to compromise on placement, which can affect the surround field. Now, who should consider this bundle? If you're building a dedicated 5-channel or 5.1 home theater and you already have an AV receiver that supports Atmos, the Polk Reserve R400/R600 set gives you a solid foundation. The clarity of the center channel shines in dialogue-intensive content, making it a good pick for binge watchers of TV dramas and sports where every word matters. The towers provide a full-range sound that works well for both movies and music, and the design is understated enough to blend with most core. Because the speakers support high-resolution audio formats, you'll also get a noticeable benefit when listening to lossless streaming services or FLAC files. Conversely, you might want to skip this bundle if you're dealing with a very small apartment, a bedroom setup, or a tight budget. The tower size can dominate a limited space, and while the sound is impressive, it's not a space-saving solution. Also, if you're looking for a plug-and-play system that doesn't require an Atmos-ready receiver, the extra high-channel potential of the R400 could be underutilized. For those scenarios, a more compact satellite center combo or a soundbar with virtual surround might make more sense. Practical strengths that stood out for me were the seamless integration of Dolby Atmos and IMAX enhanced capabilities and the way the speakers managed to stay articulate across a range of volumes. The anti-diffraction grille on the towers kept the sound focused even when I moved the couch a few feet off center.